Right, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. Let me just double check if the audio and everything is okay. Yeah, audio seems very, very good. Let's go for this, right? Let's talk about what's going to happen to BTC right now and what we think is going to happen to all the alts. I think it's very important that everybody understands, especially those guys who are invested in altcoins. I know a lot of you guys have been throwing a lot of coins at me and saying, guys, talk about this, talk about that. And I want to really go deep into this and make you understand that, look, where we are now is a critical point of time. Anything could happen, right? It's very important everybody understands this, right? That's one of the reasons why I opened up with this particular chart. And by the way, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. And if you're already here, like if you're part of the group, then smash that like button. It does help get the message out, and hopefully people understand exactly what any of this means, right? So one of the biggest fundamentals a lot of people have to understand is we've got this weekly situation here, right? So we have created a weekly high, which is fine. We've got Sunday coming, which will close. And I think this particular week, we might close slightly above, which is going to be awesome, right? So we might close slightly above this HMA, 104-week Hull moving average. We might close just a little tad bit above, which is fine. It doesn't mean anything for us. What we need to see is a candle that takes us approximately above this, confirm here, and then move up, right? That's what we need, and we've talked about this, right? But before I show you all of the other stuff, right, what we need to do is we've still got one more critical level to pass, which is this particular level here. And you can see the top of this, if you look at this, the top of this was actually, let me do this, then that will show you even better. So the top of this is $59,595. That's what we need to beat. So we've got a long ways to go, right? But most importantly, we need to confirm this candle, close this candle, open up a fresh candle above and stay above. Now, the scenarios that we can see, and this is a potential, right? So understand this is like the bearish scenario that we could easily get, which means we've gone up, we've come down, right? And then we've gone up again, which is fine, exactly pretty much as predicted, right? We did all of that. I'm not going to say predicted, actually, I said that. But anyway, it doesn't mean we can't get a rejection. Now, what I mean by rejection, and I'll come back to this, give me a second, let me take this off, right? So what I mean by rejection is that what we've done here is we've gone beyond this neckline, which is absolutely fine, but now we've got a little support forming here, and there's nothing stopping us, right? So anybody who understands the markets, nothing stopping us from coming back to test this support and going back up again. There's nothing stopping us. So you need to be very cautious, especially those of you who are trading. Anybody who likes to buy the dip, that would definitely be a great opportunity. But the ultimate thing right now is, as I said, what we need to do is we need to close this candle, confirm that we're closing this weekly candle, and then we basically need to move up above this specific line. So we need to get above this neckline here, and we need to create a fresh candle that says we are moving up. So right now in the weekend, all I'm seeing, and I'm not seeing much, right? So if you look at the difference that we have from where we are, I mean, we did hit the $56,000 today. Yesterday I mentioned it on Discord as well. I said guide $56,000 is showing. So we did hit the $56,000. We're not far from going into this, right? Going into this particular body, which is at the 55,000. What is it showing? Why is it showing 55? Sorry, my bad. 58,000. Sorry, my bad. I was looking at here. So we're looking at 58,000 here, and then the top of that is, as I said, 59,500. So we need to basically go and completely reverse this in order for us to move up, right? Everything here is awesome, super awesome, by the way. All right. I don't see much of an issue because when you understand patterns, you know that patterns play in a particular way. So this pattern could easily come back here and bounce, which is fine, right? As long as we confirm that we're doing a higher high, which is absolutely fine. Even if we did get a situation where, for example, we had this situation here, for example, and we came back down here, it's still fine, okay? All of this is absolutely fine because this is also a support zone. So far everything's looking positive. You know, for us, I think, you know, we've got a good opportunity to move up because the momentum and everything is up, right? The market momentum is up, and that does help us propel the market to another level. Hopefully we will get there and see what it does for us, right? Now, coming back into my drawings, right, you can see that this particular range that we had, this resistance range that we had, and I'll turn off, actually, this is what is confusing me. If I turn this off, right, So you can see how if we look at this particular range, we had a range here that we had to go above, right? This weekly range here, we smashed through that range here. Everything's been absolutely awesome, no issues at all. You can see that we want to get into this next range here in order for the market to continue, and I've mentioned this here already. I said bull market continues as soon as we go up here. So until we invalidate this particular imbalance zone, absolutely nothing has changed for us. We are still in the middle of the cycle doing absolutely nothing. Okay, so please do understand, of course, everybody gets all excited, but that doesn't mean anything, because also remember what I said, that we might come back down here. We will still have a trend line here where we can come back down to. So you've got to understand the likelihood of what's the probability. Like, you know, are we going to come back down here? Is there a big possibility? If there is, then you need to be cautious, right? If you're a hodler, you don't worry, because we are going to go up ultimately. So that's a different story. So that's all I want to show you here on the BTC charts. Also, if you look at the BTC charts and if you look at the RSI and the stochastic RSI, they are pointing upwards. So that means we do have plenty of room to go. And you can see I've created this new thing. It's not mine, it's somebody else's. It's VMC Cypher. But what I've did is customized it to what I like, how I like it, and how I recognize it. So it's kind of customized to my taste right now. And we can see this RSI flip as well happening. So everything is looking awesome. This would be the RSI overbought. So far, stochastic RSI pointing up, RSI pointing up on the weekly. All right, so everything looking super bullish, right? Super bullish. Also on the MACD, you can see we've entered this zone where we're looking very bullish. So that's what I wanted to show you here on the weekly. Daily, obviously, everything else is pointing a different direction, right? Daily, if you look at it, right? Hold on, let me get into daily. You can see saying, oh, guys, we're overbought. We're going to come down again. So all of daily stuff, just noise right now, just noise. But we do expect it to come down because it's been high. Also, talking about coming down, yesterday we did see a nice little dip, right? Now a lot of people, we didn't know what was going on, but we found out later on the dip was actually happening because a lot of miners decided to go and dump their Bitcoin on this particular candle. So a lot of miners, when it went there, they just decided to go and sell. And I forgot how many it was. I think it was about 46,000 Bitcoin they decided to dump on the market or something like this. But again, the bulls came out, bought it fast enough. Look what what we're doing right now. So we have a slightly higher. So this was the low we had. We went all the way down to 53,000, I believe it was. Yeah, 53,300, and now we're back again, right? And of course, the miners are still dumping, which is not a problem. Fools, that's what I'm going to say. Complete fools, because why would you want to dump at 55 when you can easily dump at 70, 80, 100k, right? All they're doing is just exchanging it. They're giving it to us. It's going to move up and we're going to go there. Also, guys, you can't comment unless you're subscribed. So please do consider subscribing. It does support the channel. Other than that, there's nothing else. I don't want any money. I don't want anything from you. Just a little simple subscribe and a simple like. Get the message out there and let's go where we can go. Comrado, okay, KR, okay, comrades. Sounds like military speak, my god. Okay, yeah, actually we probably are, because we are part of the Shib army, right? So that does make us comrades. Sounds Russian though. But anyway, so that's what BTC is doing. So let's see what it does. So far so good. I'm not gonna say anything on this particular one. As I said, look, expect this kind of a rejection here. This rejection is coming. It doesn't matter what happens. If we can hold this line, by the way, we are still solid. This is the solid line. If we can't hold this line, then we can expect it to come back to this trend line. Absolutely not an issue. It is absolutely possible. And if it does come back to this yellow line, guys, this is like the perfect last opportunity to buy the dip, because after that we're going back up again. So these are opportunities given to you, right? Yesterday's dump, an opportunity given back to you. You can basically ride it up if you want to. That is only BTC, but we're not here for BTC specifically, right? So we've got to understand other stuff as well. Also, I noticed today as well on chain, I saw 15,000 new Bitcoin addresses. 15,000 new Bitcoin addresses, and it's been on a rise. It's been going parabolic, so that's been very good. Right, let's move over to Ethereum. Have a look and see what Ethereum's done. Ethereum's taking those baby steps we've been talking about, right? It's been taking the baby steps. It attempted it. It actually had a high yesterday of $3,677. Got rejected. Absolutely fine. Currently, it's standing at resistance on this actual neckline. So you can see here, if I put it here closely, you can see it's standing at resistance on this particular neckline. It's a matter of just a complete breakout. Once it breaks out from there, then we do have targets. As you can see, our 1618 target is the 4,500. We wish we had a 45,000 Ethereum, right? But no, 4,500, and then after that we're looking at the 5,200. So just hodl is coming. There's no harm in this. Obviously Ethereum is suffering, and we'll talk a little bit more about about this as well. Every single altcoin is suffering because of the BTC dominance. BTC dominance has been parabolic. This is one of the reasons why it's basically suffering a little bit, but it's absolutely fine because the attention is moving wherever the popular coin is. It's a disorder. People have this FOMO disorder, right, where basically they FOMO into the coin that's already pumping. They don't realize that some of these coins are in the perfect buy zone, so you want to buy it. Let's talk about Solana. Solana doing pretty much the same thing. Of course, we predicted that it might come down here and then do a bounce, but it's decided to do a reversal, but it's no way out of the channel. So we're going to have to wait for this, because what we need to do is invalidate this neckline in order for us to say we're moving forward. So far, we can see a nice little positive pump coming in. Of course, there's a lot of people out there talking about Solana as well at a perfect buy now, and it is in a perfect buy in a technical term, right? If we do this, for example, you can see at a technical term, it is in a buy zone right now, and it has broken out of the channel. And the channel we're talking about is this particular channel here. You can see how it's actually broken out of this channel, which is absolutely fine. So this is a technical zone, not an issue, but obviously we're looking at a greater trend pattern and we're looking at greater prices. And if we did see a pump, we are expecting Solana to go to $244. Now, previously I have said Solana could actually hit $1,000, and I was doing a little bit more deep analysis and everything, and kind of doing some maths. And I can tell you off the top of my head, what I came up with was around, we might see a $500 Solana. Okay, Solana looks to me like a $500 Solana, and I'll tell you why I see this. Actually, we'll come back to this token as well. Give me a second. Why I see this: Solana currently sitting at, if you look at the market cap, sitting at $49 billion. $49 billion, and we're currently sitting around just under $200, right? So for me to say $500, I'm literally saying about $120 billion market cap for it, which takes it to the rank number 4, obviously, and technically gives it a quarter. So I'm expecting like a 25% off Ethereum. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, do you know what? It can take 25% of Ethereum's market cap. That's what I'm expecting for Solana. So that gives me a calculation that says it's going to be around the region of about $500, because Solana is very powerful, and there's a lot more happening. So that's one of the reasons why I'm super bullish on this, and I think it can do it. So 500 to 600, that's going to be my target, but 500 is going to be a little bit more moderate. That's where I'm going to work out with. Now, while I was on this, I know somebody asked me for FEG. This is what the price of FEG is. I don't know. I mean, I know who it is, Tamil again, right? But Tamil, if I was to just tell you if you're invested, right? So from looking at this is a similar pattern to what we saw on, on Shiba recently, right? So you do know we did see this in Shiba. Now, this looks like a good pattern. It could break out. I mean, if you're in it, for example, you're in this coin, it could easily break out. In fact, it did break out recently. It did do whatever it did, right? If we look at this 7 days, you can see this is a 7-day. It did kind of do a nice little breakout, and then it's kind of calming down again. And all of this pattern is suggesting to me that we might see another move up. That's all I can say to you, my brother, because again, this coin is not big enough. It's trading on all the shitcoin exchanges, and you got to be really careful what you're buying into. Remember, there's no analytics for this. You can only go by whatever's happening here. Someone's provided liquidity, the price is there, people are buying and selling, and of course there's enough. This is one of the reasons why I even bothered talking about it, because when I'm seeing, there's some volume there, I'm like, okay, you know what, there's some volume there. And there are coins out there. I mean, Shiba was doing, like, back in the days, Shiba was doing volumes of like $100, $200, sometimes even thousands. And look at today, we're doing like $18 billion volume. So of course, anything is possible. That's the reason why you got to be very careful. That's all I'm going to say. But not bad. I mean, it's just, I'm not going to say anything here. Do you know what I mean? I'm just giving you the likelihood of scenario, what it might do. So looking at this on a 7-day, you see something. On a 1-day, you can see it's down. It would be in a buy zone. I can't even analyze this because there's no chart for it. It's actually quite messed up. There is no chart for it, bro, so I can't really say what it's going to do, what's not. I can't add any technicals to it, but I can just go off the fact that what I'm seeing here, when I'm looking at the total, and when I'm seeing that this has come down, hit the bottom, and now come back up again. So you can just about see here, if I just zoom into this, you can see that this is what it's done. It came down here and then it pumped up. It's come for a correction. I think it's going to have another leg up. So just, that's all I can say. It's not that bad because it has invalidated this particular low point here, all right, and it's targeting this area here. can be done. That's all I'm going to say to you. I'm not going to say anything else. I don't know what price it's going to be. I don't know anything. I don't have the data to give to you, right? So I hope this kind of makes sense. I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to go any further with this one. Now, we did Ethereum. We did Solana. Let's have a look at DOT. DOT, we were talking about how it broke out. It attempted the Fibonacci 1-2 level. However, it failed. But the best part about it is it failed. And then today it opened up really, really well. And it actually found support. That's the good thing about it. It found support. Not Rico says, Sham's advice made me 250 on SHIB. At this point, if he said to put my wallet under a doormat for a massive gains, I would believe him. Awesome, bro. Thank you very much for that. Honestly, thank you. You know, look, I'm only telling you what the chart is telling me. You know, so for me, I'm very cautious. As I said to you, I'm probably one of the biggest skeptics in crypto. I don't jump into anything. I don't FOMO. My feet is not just on the ground. It's anchored to the ground. It's anchored to the ground, right? And, you know, for me, I do believe that we are going to go to the moon, but I just think it's not time. We don't have enough fuel. We don't have enough steam to take us there yet. So that's the reason why I'm very cautious how I trade. I'm always concerned about protecting my initial investment more than anything else. And if I can make a 10-20% flip, I'm going to do that, you know, and continue. I'd rather make 10%, 20% than dream about making 100% or something like this. And of course, if something makes me 100% or 1,000%, and some of the coins have, I've got no issues with that. You know, once I've taken my initial out, I'm a chilled guy. I can do whatever I want, take the risks. And of course, you know, end of the day, people can get to different levels, and there are going to be other coins out there where we might just buy them for $100 and make 100,000 out of it. Do you know what I mean? In fact, there is one coin, I'll talk about it as well. I'm going to bring it in as well, which actually made some serious things. And I told you about what I did with it and kind of feel gutted, but I did mention it to you guys a few days ago. I'm going to bring that in as well today, right? So we've got, this was DOT. Anyway, DOT is going to go do his thing. So just going to wait for DOT. DOT is so far looking very good. We've got a higher low. I'm absolutely happy with this. This is on a daily. Absolutely happy with what DOT is doing. I see free energy here. Awesome, brother. Mike, thank you very much for coming to the show. Now, this is something KR asked me. So KR earlier on asked me about Tron. I don't hold any. I don't hold any Tron. I did hold at one point. I don't hold it anymore. However, Tron is looking pretty much the same as everything else in the market. And I did have a chart from back in the days, as you can see. And Tron is coming back, right? So it's following the market. Now, I know a lot of people, whenever something moves, you get the communities coming out and hyping the life out of it. Absolutely fine. And do you know what? A coin like this, which is worth 0.09, and I remember I got rid of it at 0.04, so it's 5 up from where I sold it. And I'm talking about the point where let me tell you, I bought Tron around here somewhere. I can't remember. Around here somewhere. I can't remember if it was 2018, 2019. I can't remember. That's when I bought Tron. So when I had Tron around the 4, it was around here somewhere. So I remember I made significant gains. I got rid of it. I said I can't be holding this because the dips are so dear. I mean, it's just crazy. Like when it went down, it just went down to the ground, and when it went up too much. I was like, guys, I can't do this. Emotionally, it just doesn't work. No point me putting big money in there. Get rid of it. And then I started scaling out basically. So I started scaling out until I got rid of all of it. I think I got some change, like few cents worth probably somewhere. If they grow to like $1,000 someday, great. I've made a few money, but other than that, I'm not holding anything, right? As far as I'm concerned, I'm not holding anything. And that's what Tron is showing us. Of course, a lot of people might come and say, well, guys, Tron is looking awesome. It looks like it's doing this and great, and we're going to do a nice little couple. Of course we are. Everything is absolutely fine. Tron, if you're holding it, I don't see why Tron can't pump back to the previous all-time high. As you can see, even the fibs are confirming this. Once we get to that level, I don't see why Tron can't pump even further. Good luck to you if you're holding it, but it's very risky, it's very volatile, and I'm not happy that the founder owns a lot of Tron. He could dump on us anytime. He's become a millionaire from this, selling this. So millionaire, billionaire probably. But yeah, I mean, if we did have this situation where we came back to the all-time high and we do continue this market, you can expect to see anything up to a 29, but none of this is going to tempt me. This is not, you know, if I bought here, I can double my money. I'm not going to be tempted. Again, as I said, there are fundamentals and there are other stuff. Most of the stuff built on Tron are usually rug pulls. So Tron does suffer a lot of scam projects there because it's very easy to build on Tron. And that's one of the reasons why they get a lot of scams. And, you know, for me, I'm like, nah. I'm not going into this stuff. I stay away from hype. So that's what I'm saying. But if somebody wanted to target, then as you can see what the target is, the target literally is the Fibonacci 1618, nothing more. That's all you're going to go to. If you did do that, what type of gains are you looking at? Let's do this from here, current price to the 1618. You're looking at an 82% pump. So good luck to you if you're in this. I wouldn't jump into this if I haven't already. And this is one of the things I want to talk about as well. Guys, if you haven't bought something, don't jump into it. Don't jump into it. These are the times when your coins that you're holding, the assets that you've been holding for the past 6 months, they are going to give you significant gains. Right? Once the market goes parabolic, and I'll show you in a bit, you are going to make a shit ton of money. No point you FOMOing into some new assets here. Whatever the new asset, they've already done their runs. So let's see what it does. eGold, I don't know if Bubble's here, but eGold, he can see eGold has literally broken out exactly as we mentioned, exactly as we projected it. It's done its thing. Not only did it do that, and I've got it on a 4-hourly chart, you can see it's come back. It's kind of doing its little confirmation. It might even come back down here. As long as it comes back down here, does a nice little pattern that we are expecting, which is pretty much find support around here somewhere within the next within the close of the day, and then move back up again. That would be my confirmation line that this thing is going up more, and then we can look for these new targets, you know. And I've already mentioned what price we're looking at. We were looking at I think it was what was the price we were expecting? There was a price we were expecting. Give me a second, because I have changed a few bits and bobs on my charts. I've updated a few. So currently, let's look at the current. We're looking at, oh my days, things change now. So if I go up to this particular level, our target now for a eGold is $402, my brothers. So eGold looking super solid, and I think this move is going to come, you know, just brand new highs. That's what eGold is going to do. It's a super solid project, by the way, super solid project. So if you're holding, good luck to you. Everybody doing awesome. Now I want to show you what I'm thinking that the entire market's going to do. So this is the entire global market cap, and you do know I have talked about how the entire global market cap, right, could potentially go to the $4 trillion level. Look, had it here already, right? We could pump over to approximately $4 trillion level, and this was the old one. You can see $4 trillion here. That's what we can do, and that's nothing unacceptable. This is a fib level, nothing more, and we're currently finding resistance here. So once we move out of this, we become parabolic, if that makes any sense, right? Because we are going to become, because we've literally invalidated this area here. Now we just got to test this, and that's what we're doing here. Break this range and go. And we're not that far. If you look carefully, today we had a high, and I'll tell you this, you're going to love this one, right? Today we had a high of $2.4 trillion, and we were only away from the previous high of 2.5. So you can see the previous high 2.57. So we were approximately what, I don't know, 14 billion, or sorry, 130 billion dollars away from that. I'll tell you this, right? 130 billion dollars coming to this is gonna, it's got the when it pumps into exchanges. Say if 130 billion dollars pumps into exchanges, it will pump the market to 5-6 trillion, because it just shows up completely different. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. I mean, for example, $100 million. Sorry, I said 130 billion. No, sorry, 130 million. So when $130 million come into the market, it would show up as easily 2-3 billion. 2-3 billion, you know. So that's what's going to happen. Imagine 100 comes in. My God, that would take us above 4 trillion. It would take us to about 6 trillion. Because the way it works, there's a certain maths, right? The maths is when $100 million enters into BTC, BTC market can pump by 2.5 billion. So if you continue to do that maths, you can see where it can propel the market. Right, it's actually insane when you see where it can propel the market. So this is coming. There's this move coming. You know, I'm hoping that we go to the 4 trillion, smash through that, probably go even 5-6 trillion. I'm hoping for that. But there's more. Look, guys, I want to show you a little bit more. So when we're talking about altcoins, this is what Bitcoin has done. Now picture this, take a screenshot, do whatever. That's what Bitcoin has done. Fair play. Let's move into altcoin without Bitcoin. It hasn't tested that area yet. So if it hasn't tested this area yet, we know this test is coming, you know, and there's going to be a good few $1 billion coming into this. This is also following this, but this is with Ethereum. Fine. Ethereum follows Bitcoin. Let's be fair. Let's move it over to one that doesn't follow Bitcoin. Well, look what we just did. Everybody is looking the other way, and we can see what the altcoin market without Bitcoin and without Ethereum just did. And let me try and zoom into this so you can see this better. This is what this has done. This is what this has done. It's come into this range. It's constantly been battling to get into that range, and it's been getting rejected, but it's actually done it. It's actually done it. In my opinion, it's actually done it because it's smashed through a few of these. It's a matter of time. Now, when we look at this particular area, and I'm just talking about, this is the entire altcoin, by the way, not Bitcoin, not Ethereum. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum. So if we just put it at today's price and take it to the low that we had here, well, this is telling us that we should see a move taking us to the $1.2 trillion level. How much is that in altcoin value? Let's try and get the price and see how much is that in altcoin value. That's telling us we're going to have a 34% increase from where we are now. 34% increase from where we are now. I mean, guys, that's insane. That's insane. This total market right now is sitting at 879 billion, and it's saying we're going to push and go to the $1.2 trillion. That's just the altcoin market. I'm not even calculating Bitcoin. Now, if you add Bitcoin another trillion, that's 2.2 trillion. If you add the Ethereum current price, that takes us to 2.6 trillion. Do you see what I mean? So this move is coming, and I think this wave is going to be big. This wave is going to be big because, you know, if you just look at how it's been following, it's going to be very big. Just by looking at the fibs, you know, it's just insanity when you look at it, right? And I'm not even doing the total, by the way. If I was to do the total fibs, the numbers get even more crazy. The numbers actually get even more crazy. If I was to do this and put it down here, this is giving us, just look for yourself, giving us a $1.5 trillion market cap. 1.5 alone, just for the altcoins, 1.5. That's not that far from 1.2. That's just $300 billion more. That's possible. That's absolutely possible in this cycle. Absolutely possible, right? So just got to understand that what's going on. If you are in alts, hodl, right? Now is the time when a lot of other alts are going to cancel. Also, give me 1 second. Let me grab this call, guys. All right, sorry guys, I had to do a little bit of a call. I had to take this call. But anyway, so what I was saying was the moves that we've got, right? These particular moves that we've got, all of this is indicating that we can actually go to this level and probably even further. Do you know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons I'm saying just be careful. Don't FOMO into too many coins. And, you know, it's all coming. It's all coming. Trust me, this market is going to move. And once it breaks through certain levels, there's no stopping it. Do you know what I mean? There's no stopping it. I mean, imagine this. You put $100 million into this, $100 million. This pumps by 2.5 billion. Imagine what happens when you pump 100 million into this. Well, this could easily pump by $5 million. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, $5 billion. You know, the numbers get mixed up, right? And the same for all of them. You put 100 billion in this. This thing could easily pump by $2 billion, $3 billion. These numbers are just insane. And we're seeing big boys coming into the market and playing big money. Right now, big boys are coming in playing big money. And I wanted to talk about another coin that I was actually talking about. Ignore this. This is something I was giving to somebody else. Look, I talked about this coin with you guys, and this is one of those coins that I was earlier on when I mentioned that we bought coins for pennies and these guys pumped, right? I bought FTM years ago, and I sold it, right? So I feel kind of gutted because of that. So I bought FTM down here somewhere, right? Where was it? No, it's not even here. My God, this chart won't even probably show it. That's how far I am. Let me see if I can see it here. So I bought FTM. I remember it was pennies. It was a few pennies down here somewhere. It was a few pennies, right? So a few pennies FTM, right? And during this ride up, I actually got rid of it. right? So I do feel gutted because I did actually sell it around this ride up and I never held anymore. I did see it move. However, last few days ago, I did mention to everybody, I said, guys, if you want to pick one up, buy FTM, because they're going to have an announcement. They're doing this Dubai thing, and whatever pump we see is going to be priced in, like one of those buy the rumor, sell the news situation. So you got to buy in, you got to be careful. You can't marry the coin, make enough money, and then get the hell out, right? That's what you do. And what we've got here is, you can see that since I've mentioned it, and we were down here that time when we mentioned it, right? Since that time, this thing has been pumping, and so far we've already pumped, from when I mentioned it to today, it's up 63%, right? It's up 60. I think it had a little bit higher, but anyway, 63%. So since I've been mentioning it, that's what it's done. I know a lot of guys who have taken profits around the 20-30% mark. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But the point now is, do you want to FOMO into this on a green candle? No. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Don't FOMO into these kind of green candles, right? Be careful. That's what I'm saying. There's a time for everything. There's another coin that I talked about quite a bit, right? And I said, look, it's got potential. For example, this particular one here, it's got potential. Well, it's broken out now. Now it's broken out. You know what I mean? It's actually broken out. It's going to go to the target. There's a target of $91. So, of course, right now it's broken out. It's done its thing. It's going to hit that $91, but you got to be careful, and you got to understand that. Are you going to be able to manage your risk? Do you understand the implications of what's happening? And what I mean, look, it's about to make that move. You got to be able to take your initial out. You got to be grounded, right? And understand that, okay, we are going to see this move. This move, when we do break out of this channel, we're going to see a move that takes us to this fib level, which is going to give us a 40% mark. Where is my profit going to be? At 40%, or is it going to be below this? Because I want to be safe. I want to make sure I exit. So my target would be, if this is saying 39, I'll be at 30. If I was to play this, if I was to do a flip here, do you know what I mean? So please do understand the implications of all of this. You can't fall in love with coins. And I know a few you guys, like, you know, you have an emotional attachment when you see it pumping. Oh my God, it's going to go even more. Guys, you can't have emotions in trading. You do not have emotions. Now let's talk about SHIB. What SHIB is done. So I know a lot of people have been getting fake signals and everything on their devices, getting notifications and whatnot and this and that, right? About how SHIB's pumping and this and that. Yeah, on a shorter time frame, SHIB is doing what it needs to do, absolutely fine. But what nobody's thinking about and what nobody's looking at is, guys, we just built a bloody rock solid foundation for the next leg up. Nobody's even thinking about this. Everyone's been all like, oh, we pumped up, oh, we dumped hard, oh, look, guys, we lost money, oh, guys, look what we've done, because a lot of people buy it because they FOMO. But nobody's looking at this. You know, when I'm seeing this particular chart, right, and let me zoom into this. Let me go into auto and zoom into this, right? Right, when I'm looking at this chart, I see something beautiful, beautiful here, right? Again, most people won't probably see that because obviously, you know, the way it's all showing up. So let's do this. And this is on an hourly, by the way. Actually, let me move it to a 4 hourly. Hopefully this will show up better. So what we did here, right? This particular range here, what we did here, we created a foundation for our move when the rocket launches, when we launch, right? So when we had this launch, we came back down to the ground, we settled down here. You know, the Elon Musk recyclable rockets. This is the base, this is the ground. So from this point, we now smashed through, and remember we had a target here. We smashed all the way through. We followed the pattern. Of course, this was a trend line on a mini short hourly or 4 hourly time frame. Very bad, but we did that. Doesn't matter. We went up. We didn't create big supports. So if you look here, we didn't create big supports. We did not have big supports. These are a few hours. Nothing. You know, when we came here, very small amount of support, right? When we came here, very small amount of support. But we broke out, we did our thing, and right now, what it's done in the last few, it's actually given us, so if you look on the daily, it gets more powerful. You can see we've had this area as a resistance, this became the support, this held support. That's a 3-day data. That's a bigger data. That means there's a good chance that we will have another move. And you can see on these 4 hourly candles, the attempt has been made. We have attempted to go from this baseline, this bottom that we had at the 23, and we tried to push back to the 29 already. These are my old lines. I haven't changed those lines. So you can see the lines are still there. Absolutely fine. this is going to be the second leg up. So obviously now if I was to draw a trend line, my trend line is not going to be the way I did it before. My trend line is going to be here. And if I auto this, look guys, this is a beautiful, beautiful pattern compared to everything else, because this is not a parabolic pattern, right? In fact, when we had our fib line, when we had our trend line here, if I auto this, and if I move this over to a daily, for example, look, we went parabolic, 1, 2, 3 parabolic. We did not create any support, any resistance, right, until now. And this is very, very beautiful what we did here on a shorter time frame. You can see these hourlies, very good. Also, another thing that a lot of people didn't notice is if you look at this trend line that we had here, this downward trend line, and every time we were breaking out this, we came back to respect this. We came back to respect the trends that we've made. So we went up, we did this, 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 came back down, and we respected this. What was this? A lot of people don't see this, right? So if you look carefully, I can put a line here. This is that way. Now, of course, a lot of people might say, well, guys, this seems to be forming a head and shoulders. Possibly, you know, possibly this is forming a head and shoulders, which is going to come back down here and then come down. I don't care. I don't care, because I can turn around and say, well, complete opposite. I can say, well, this is also looking something like this. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Remember, I don't give a damn about head and shoulders. These are just stupid excuses people make when they lose a trade or when they win a trade. That's just excuses. Market will do what the market does, right? We don't give a damn about head and shoulders. If you've got too much head and shoulders, if you've got too much dandruff problem, go and get yourself some head and shoulders. But other than that, I don't give a damn about this, right? Losers will always find excuses. Remember, losers will always find excuses. Oh, it was because of this. It was because of that. Oh, it was there's too many. Do you know what? Forget the excuses. Forget your excuses. You had no idea what you're doing. That's the problem you got. I'm looking here and I'm seeing a base. I'm seeing a platform here for the next rocket ship to start moving up. And I can already see the attempt is being made. But what SHIB guys don't know, guys, we don't have enough fuel here. We need more fuel. We need more money. We need more people to be interested in SHIB, right? And I think the interest is coming. This was the breakout on a specific news. And this is going to be a breakout of another news. It's coming. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. I'm still super bullish. I bought at 20. I bought here. I bought more at here. I topped up more here. Do you know what I mean? The coins I had here, I basically gave them away. And then I bought some more for myself here. And I said, do you know what? I'm going to move up. Doesn't matter. So now, whatever coins I bought here is the only holding I have. Rest of them are actually giving it away to family members and friends. So, you know, kind of help them out, this and that. Obviously, people who are completely dear to me. So that's what I've done, but I'm just seeing this and I'm like, this is awesome. This is awesome. What I'm seeing is just awesome, and it doesn't matter. This was the first attempt. It's coming. It's coming. So I'm still super bullish on SHIB as well. You know, yeah, super bullish. That's all I can say. All right. But Bitcoin doing its thing, absolutely good. Again, I'm not fussed. All right. I know a lot of people might be, you know, oh, what's going to happen, this, that, whatever. Guys, don't fret too much. Don't worry too much about it, because remember, the longer the data, the stronger the data. That's what you need, basically. It's not anything else. So when we are looking at, you know, Bitcoin, for example, we do know that it is kind of the king. It is the king right now, but you know, just by peaking up there doesn't make anything. The probability is it can easily come back and test this 50. Remember, this brighter line is 50, and this is 200, by the way, on the weekly. And you can see this 104 week HMA. All right. So we are going to do what we're going to do. I'm expecting a pullback. In fact, I'm expecting a pullback within the next few hours. I hope I'm wrong. You know, let's see what happens. But I did expect it yesterday as well, and sadly yesterday was miners, so we know this was all due to miners because they decided to offload on their coins at whatever reasons. I have no idea. Stupid miners. But other than that, look, everything else looking awesome. Everything is looking awesome. Daily looking a little bit bad. If I go into the hourlies, you can see if we change these time frames, right, hold on, we can see, all right, so this is the hourly coming into the zone, looking pretty solid. I'm not going to fuss about that. 4 hourly looking awesome, extra solid. Looking at the daily, slightly a bit high, which is fine, but daily, you know, it doesn't really make a difference. So on the 4 hourly is very good. Weekly, awesome. But this is the best part of all. Look at the monthly, guys. This red line and blue line, you can see this blue area that is showing super bullish here. This is also showing super bullish here, right? In fact, that little dot you can see there, I configured it, it's actually a bullish divergence as well. So everything here is pointing that we're gonna have a lovely few months here very soon. I'm going to move forward. Guys, if you have any coins you want me to talk about, let me know, because if not, then I'm going to cut the stream short. Don't need to be on it forever updating you guys, but what I wanted you guys to understand is, look, once we do that total market cap move, right, once we do this total market cap move, we're going to propel the market. If you've got 50 different coins, and I talked about this before as well, I'm sure those of you guys who have been in the channel long enough, I talked about it. As guys, what you need to start doing is the kind of condensing your portfolio on the way up. So you want to start taking your profits out of some of the coins that you don't want. You know, like you're not best performers, or some of the pump and dump coins that you've probably got into. You want to start taking your profits out, right? When we're moving up like this, right? You want to start taking your profits out, because it's very, very important that you do this, right? You got to start taking some of your profits out on the way out, because on the way down, you're back into that mode. It's like, oh, I'll just hodl, and just again we come back again. Sometimes it doesn't come back. That's what I want you to understand. So, you know, it's not about diversifying. You know, when you were down here, and this is what I said to everybody, when we were down here, when we were around these range, I said, guys, now is the time to diversify. When we were down here, I said, buy whatever you want, right? Because these are the times when you buy the dip. When we're 60-70% down on some of the coins, take a pick, go and pick up whatever coins you like. Now, the level we are, you don't want to be thinking about adding more positions to yourself. You want to be thinking about taking positions off, because now you need to have an exit strategy. Now, once Bitcoin goes back to, so when we're looking at Bitcoin, for example, and let me just go into this. Let's get rid of all of this. Give me a second. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this, right? And get rid of that. Right? So now that we've got Bitcoin on a weekly, let me just show you on a weekly, right? So once we're going into these zones here, these are critical zones. Like, for example, here, these are similar areas to here. Once we get to these zones, you got to start thinking about how high can it go? Because remember, before we had this area, there was only this area here. So after this point, we don't know how high we're going to go, right? It's a fact. Nobody can actually tell you how we're going to go. So now that we're coming back to invalidate this 65k level, after that, nobody can tell you what the high would be. So we don't know how high we're going to go. This is one of the reasons why we don't know how high it's going to go, and we don't know how fast it's going to drop. Because imagine if everybody decides to cash out on the top here, like these miners did recently. Idiots, right? So imagine we go all the way up here and everyone decides to sell at the same day, right? Well, now you've got a problem, because you don't know how far it's going to come down, and you don't even know, is this a dip or is this the end of the bull market? Because remember, a bull market is when everything comes down. There's no stopping it, right? A dip is like this. This is a dip, right? So this was a dip, right? This was a dip. It wasn't exactly, you know, a bearish thing. It was a dip. So these are the dips. But when you've got something dipping down and constantly creating lower lows, you're coming down. You're coming down. The first time we start seeing signs that we're getting lower lows, like currently, as I said, we're still in danger. Let me delete this, right? Currently, the reason I say we're still in danger is because technically we've got a lower high. Why? Because our previous high that we've got, and let me show you this here. Right. All right. Our previous highs that we have are down here, guys. So we're not out of danger. This is our lower high. This is our higher high. This technically is a lower high. Okay, we can, so if we take this out, we can use this. This is a lower high. You can see here, high, lower high, lower high. We haven't invalidated this, you know, and the first sign we see that we're starting to get lower highs and lower lows, we're out. Do you know what I mean? So, and this is the same thing we did here, for example, just before the dump. I'm not sure how many people followed along, but this is what we did here at 58k. We got out, we waited, we had a buy order at the 30, we picked it up, everyone picked it up at the 30, and then we moved up. And this is one of the reasons why I updated the chart recently. I said, well, now that we've changed the bearish sentiment into a bullish sentiment by invalidating this area here, we have more likelihood of going up, right? Which is fine. However, we're not in danger until we cross this particular level and then confirm up. So all we're doing now is just taking baby steps until we get to that point, right? I hope this kind of makes sense. And I hope I answered all the questions that everybody asked me. FEG, what I mean about FEG, what I think about FEG, what I think about. There was another coin someone asked me about, BTSTD or whatever that was called. What was it called? Let me just search. BTS. No. BTC. Yeah, this one, BTCST, Bitcoin Standard Hash Rate Token. I've seen it, but I can be honest with you, I'm not going to touch it. Doesn't matter what happens, I'm not going to touch it. It's just, for me, it's just a scam coin. That's all I'm going to say. I don't care who's involved in it. I don't care who's putting money into it. I don't care about others. I don't care where it launched. I don't give a damn about it. To me, it's just another scam coin. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't have anything. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there, just being honest. But you can do you, I do me. Do your own research. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I can only give you my opinions based on what I feel, what I think, and I have looked into it. And apparently, you know, one BTC whatever token is supposed to be equal to 1 terahash or whatever nonsense, right? And it didn't make sense to me, because how can you have a limited supply of a specific token? Right? How could you have a limited supply of a specific token and still call it pegged to 1 terahash? Sorry, I don't understand. You're telling me you've only got 15 million terahash. I'm sorry, I'm confused. So that's the reason why I'm not going to even bother with this. All right. So it just doesn't make any sense. But other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe, smash that like button. I'm going to catch you on another one very soon. Other than that, I've got to go. I've got loads of calls coming, as you can probably hear on the side. And I want to just thank everybody that's been here. So obviously we had KR, we've had Not Rico, awesome bro, thank you. We've had Free Energy, we had SM here. Hi bro, can you tell me the short-term target for MBox, please? Okay, well, I'm going to drop MBox for him. So he wants MBox. Let's do some MBox for him. Let's find something here for MBox. He wants to know short-term target for MBox. Why not, my brother? Let's have a look. Short-term, and we can even do a long-term on it as well. That's not an issue. You can probably see from the drawing already, because I have updated some of my charts. The target, as you can see, is the previous high, obviously. But none of that matters. Let's get rid of all of this. Let's get rid of all of this, and let's create some new zones for ourselves and say, okay, this is what the neckline is we need to cancel. Where are we right now? Let's have a look and put some trend lines on and see exactly what it's showing us. So if we just use the body from this particular one and where we are, we can see that we did break down, we came back, and we actually found, and you can see, look, I'm not making it up, body. All right, here you can see just a wick, doesn't matter. This is where we broke out. We came back, we tested this, and we're still testing this, which is fine. And then we're going to make a move, right? So now, if we are going to make a move, how high can we go? Now, short term, I'm going to have to use the wick, unfortunately, because I can't really use a body. That's how bad this is. But if we did do a short-term pump, you can see that any day we can pump all the way to about $7.37, which is not bad. That does invalidate this point. And once we go to that point, then we can start using other data. For example, the previous data, and we can use the top of this channel, and we can use the bottom of the channel, and then say, okay, we can easily go down to around $9.19 on a medium term. But long term, of course, we need to break this one specific level for us to go and be positive, which is the $11. Is it possible? Absolutely. I don't think there's any issues here. I think it can actually do so. From where it had the peak to where it is now, right, it's still 61% down. In my opinion, that's a 61% discount, because the pattern does look solid so far. It's a 61% discount, but again, be careful. Again, remember what I say to some of you guys: don't FOMO into stuff. This is the problem with a lot of us, right? I used to have it. I don't have it anymore. I'm in total control. I'm limited. In fact, you're going to hear this, you're going to be shocked, and I think KR is going to be very, very shocked right now to what I did. I sold all my engine. I sold every last one of my engine coin. So even though engine is down at this present moment, I'm still up. So I told you, if I'm up, as long as I'm up, I never sell for a thing. As long as I'm up, it doesn't matter. I will sell it at whatever price. I don't care how low it is, how high it is. It doesn't matter. My engine was bought way back down here, so I don't really care, right? But what I did was I sold all my engine and I put it into another alt, right, that I believe was going to pump a little bit more, right? So one of the alts I'm holding, nothing new, right? So I'm holding, and I said, okay, I think that one's going to make a move. So let me do that, right? And I just left it there. And I'll tell you that alt, you're going to be shocked to hear this. I sold all my engine, I put it into Ethereum. because I believe Ethereum is getting ready for this one super move. So I'd done some maths and I said, well, hold on, I can sit on Engine doing fuck all, excuse my language, right, doing nothing, or I could do a 23% on my Ethereum and potentially even pump all the way up to here, which will actually give me, right, this, and it's a lot more stable. That's 46%, which a lot more stable, right, because I know a lot of institutions want to see a Ethereum flippening. Do you know what I mean? So I looked at Engine. I was like, it's not doing anything for me. Engine is just down. It's just dead. You know, it's not moving. All right, actually, we do have it here. Give me a second. Let me just find it here. Where is Engine? Right? It's just not making anything. It's just not doing anything. It's just like kind of dead. Really annoyed. I'm telling you, I'm really. I was hoping. I was really hoping that we could go to the $4-5 level for Engine, right? And you can see the previous high was $4, right? And it's just been stagnant. If you look carefully, let me zoom into this and I'll show you what I mean, right? If you just look at this, let's move into a different time frames. That's 7 days. Let's look at, so 3 months. Let's look at 3 months, right? 3 months. You can see we had the dip, and then with the actually this is showing a lot more. But say for a month, it's just been stagnant there. Of course, it's recovered. Everything seems okay, right? But it's so down. It just doesn't make any sense. I just said, you know what? I can't do this. Right, where did I put it? Engine here. So I looked at it. I was like, nah, I just can't do this. I just need to get onto something and just forget it, because it's all about me sleeping well. And I'm like, I'm not. This is coming to that point. Fine, everything looks awesome, but I need to sleep. And right now, I'm happy. I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy. I was down here somewhere. I'm happy about here, because end of the day, the percentage are there, so it doesn't really matter. I'll pick it up again. If I want to still, if I'm confident, I can pick it up later. Do you know what I mean? Right now, I don't have to worry about it. Of course, I wouldn't normally sell here, but I just got fed up with it. And there was a lot stuck in there. That's one of the reasons, guys. So I needed to get some liquid capital, because the funds that were stuck in this was big. So it wasn't doing anything for me. Do you know what I mean? For me, I just looked at it. I was like, look, this is not doing anything for me. So let me take this fund out now that I'm up, right, whatever percentage, and I'm down here, right? And I sold this last night, actually. And I said, look, I might as well get rid of all my Engine, get the hell out. So that's that. I have actually put some more funds into Anchor, ANKR. I've told you that I'm quite bullish on Anchor. I have put there, but I don't care about gaming tokens or anything now. It doesn't make a difference. I'm right now thinking about my exit strategy and just working on that. And some of these coins have to go. There's no ifs and buts. They have to go. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to pump it into some of my other coins that I'm willing to hold for 5 years. Engine, I'm not willing to hold anymore. In fact, I'm going to make a list soon where there's only about say 7-8 coins that I am going to hold. Maybe 10 coins I'm going to hold. The rest of them I'm not going to hold. And even the ones I'm going to hold is only going to be profit money. It's not going to be initial. I need to take the initial out ASAP, because that's the thing, you know, because once the market moves, that's my exit strategy. Do you know what I mean? And if I can plug it into something bigger that I think is going to do a lot more better for me, then I'm better. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I did. I just looked at it and I said, we've seen the market make a move. We've seen Bitcoin make the move, go all the way from 700 billion to a trillion again. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Ethereum, nothing. So what's the next move? And remember, we've already been to 550 billion. So I'm thinking there's $150 billion pump coming in this, and I want to ride this pump. I want to ride this pump all the way up. So that's what I'm doing. That's the reason why I thought, you know, significant amount of money, put it into Ethereum, just lock it there and leave it there. BNB, I've got enough. I was actually planning to sell BNB, but I'm going to hold a little bit longer, see what it does. But again, my strategy is that some of these coins you buy for pennies, you buy for dollars, you've made hundreds of percent, thousands of percent. Do you know what? Start taking it out. That's what I'm doing anyway. You do you, I do me. Moving it into other stuff. I see Ennis here. Awesome, bro. Awesome, awesome. You came a little bit late, but awesome to see you, my brother. I hope you watch it. All you got to do is just rewind the video. You can actually watch it from the end, and you will see everything there. Also, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. It does support the channel. Plus, I've only activated subscriber only chat, so only subscribers can chat. If you've been a subscriber for at least 5 minutes, you can chat. Please join our Discord. We've got the community there growing as well, which is really awesome. Also, on the video description and the video about page,